You don't actually have a time problem like you think you do. What you have is a priority problem. We think that we need more time to get things done because we're so busy doing things. Our greatest resource is time. So let's stop with the excuses because that's exactly what that is. So the reality is, let answer this question. Why are you still stuck? You have the same 24 hours as everybody else. I have those same 24 hours. Look, there's people that are massively more successful than I am, massively more successful than you are because they're choosing to be focused with those 24 hours. They're choosing to not let distraction in. So the real reason you're still stuck is because you're allowing that distraction. And you're going to say things like, and I hear this all the time. Oh, I just don't have the time. I've been busy all day. But you do have time because I bet you if you really analyzed your day, if you look deep into your day, you would see where you're wasting time. I created this simple exercise where I tracked my days. 15-minute slots. What did I do for 15 minutes? And man, when you see that you spent an hour scrolling or 45 minutes playing a video game on your phone, you realize you haven't been that busy all day. You realize where you're burning time. And time is our greatest resource. We don't get any more of it. That's it. We have this invisible clock that's running out and counting down for us. So stop wasting your time that you have and just be a little more focused. When you say that you don't have time and you've been busy all day, ask yourself this. I'm going to ask you this. What did you do that actually moved you forward? What did you actually move forward? Not just yourself, but what in your business or your life did you move forward? And be honest. If you want to be real honest, drop it in the comments below. Let's have a real honest conversation here, or at least be honest with yourself. I hear this all the time. And when we do this deep dive, people realize that most of their day was spent reacting, waiting for their cell phone to ring, waiting for a text message to come in or a DM, waiting for an email to ping, waiting for a customer complaint, spending time reacting instead of being proactive. See, unless you're in an occupation where you have to be reactive, there's no reason for you not to be planning your days, especially as a business owner. Maybe you spent your day putting out fires and you think, "Oh, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my calling. This is how I know my business is good." But the reality is most business owners that are putting out fires, they're not just firefighters. You're also the arsonist that's setting that fire. You're creating that fire to put it out so you can look busy. How about a little bit of prevention beforehand? A little bit of proactivity. Maybe your day was spent doing low value work, work that you need to quit doing, work that you need to either delegate to somebody else or just completely cut it off because it produces no value to you, your life, your business. Or maybe you spent your day avoiding hard decisions, sitting there with your door closed, hiding behind your computer, not wanting the world to see you because there's hard decisions you need to make. Maybe you need to take an employee and let them go because they're not doing their job. Or maybe you need to move them to a different position, a lateral move, because that's where their zone of genius is. But you don't want to have that hard conversation because you're so afraid of the confrontation. What that does is it builds animosity, resentment, and anger. But here's the hard part that nobody wants to admit, including you. You're not actually busy. You're pretending to be busy. You're not productive. You're distracted. You're avoiding having that hard conversation because you're imagining the worst case scenario for the outcome. But the reality is that hard conversation needs to be had, and the longer you wait, the harder that conversation gets. Just have the conversation. Maybe there's a hard decision you need to make. Maybe there's a person in your life that you need to cut out because they're bringing you down. Maybe you need to let go of an employee. There's no moving them laterally. There's just need to be gone because they're a cancer to your business. They ruin the culture. But you're avoiding that hard decision because you're avoiding that confrontation because you're sitting behind your desk pretending to be busy and putting out fires that you're creating or that person is creating for you and helping you create. You're avoiding the real work, the work that will actually grow your business. Look, you didn't start this business to just simply have a high stress job, but now you're constantly putting out fires so you stay busy because you feel productive. And look, I've been there too. I've been in your shoes. I remember working long 12 to 16-hour days on a roof. You want to talk about exhaustion? Then I would stand back and I'd look and I gave myself the same excuses. I started calling myself out on those excuses. And that's where the big change happened. I stopped letting the excuses drive me because I was exhausted, but I wasn't actually progressing. I wouldn't make the hires I needed to make. I wouldn't put the people in charge I needed to put in charge because I wanted to have control over everything. And what does that lead to? Leads to you being the firefighter, the arsonist, the person that the business relies on. Just like you, I was working harder than ever, but I wasn't actually moving forward. I was quietly burning out. I wasn't seeing the burnout coming. I wasn't seeing the effect this was having on my family and my personal life, as well as my business, until I finally stepped back and opened up my eyes. You see, I thought for years that just being busy, that activity was progress, but the reality is not every activity is progress. Some activities are actually pulling you backwards. You're stepping backwards doing these things because you shouldn't be doing them. I forget who said it, but the worst thing you can do is take something and make it really efficient that shouldn't be being done anyways. Why would you work hard to make something efficient that you shouldn't be doing at all? Being busy all the time, putting out those fires, working 16 hours a day as a business owner, it's not winning. It's the opposite of winning. You need to stop working so many hours. You need to scale back. That's the whole idea of being a business owner. Now, not saying that you're not going to have any days that are long, you're going to have them, but you shouldn't be working 16 hours every single day. A big reason why you're having these long days is that your day isn't intentional. You wake up and you're just like, oh, let's see what happens today. Let's wait and see what the day is going to bring. So if your day isn't intentional, your life is just drifting. You're not even coasting through your life, you're drifting. And that's dangerous because you have no idea where you're going to end up with that drift. So the leaders I work with, the high level leaders, they don't react all day. And look, you've got that inside you to be that high level leader. These high level leaders, they decide. They decide what matters. Because when you decide what matters, you say, okay, this is what I need to work on. And then you decide what gets done. But more importantly, you decide what gets ignored. Because you see, winners quit doing things that don't serve them. Winners quit holding on to unfulfilling parts of their life. Winners quit doing things that are just wasting their time. Here's a simple solution. It's not easy, but it's simple. It'll take time to build this into your day and to do it continuously. But when you do it continuously, the results will compound. At the end of the day, ask yourself a few questions. See, I ask myself three questions at the end of every day, and I made an acronym for it: WIT, WIT. Wisdom. Did I share wisdom? Did I gain wisdom? I, intentionality. Did I live my day with intention? That stops you from drifting. T, was I thankful? Did I live my day with a thankful mindset? Because those are three things that are important to me. But here's some other questions that are important to you in your life and your business. Ask yourself, what actually moved me forward today? Just think about that for a minute. What actually moves you forward today? What did I avoid? And be real. Maybe you avoided something that you shouldn't have avoided. What's something that needs to happen tomorrow, no matter what? Come hell or high water, you need to get it done tomorrow. That there starts setting you up to live more intentionally and to stop drifting, to be the leader that you're meant to be. Here's the reality. We heard this growing up, right? Winners don't quit and quitters don't win, but they do. You see, winners don't quit when things get hard. Winners quit distractions. That distraction could look like doom scrolling. And doom scrolling comes in so many forms. You could be watching reels. You could be shopping online. For some, it's porn. Maybe it's having a pointless conversation just for the sake of having a conversation. Winners quit the excuses. Oh, I don't have the resources. Yes, you do. Be resourceful. Oh, but you don't understand, Doug. This bird looked at me weird, so now my day's all a mess. It's an excuse. Winners quit fake productivity. I can sit at my desk all day typing away, creating documents, creating flowcharts, creating plans, creating playbooks for my coaching. But what's the point of creating all this stuff if you never take it to market? I can spend my day behind the camera recording hours upon hours of content. But if I never do anything with it, it's not actual productivity. What are you doing that is fake productivity that you need to quit? What's one excuse that you can let go of today? What's a distraction that you can let go of today? Because the real winners, they quit the distractions, they quit excuses, and they quit fake productivity. You do those things, I'll tell you this, you'll realize that you don't need more time. You just need to stop wasting the time you already have.